Presented and sponsored by Quality Content.
Hear us. Hi. So, I'm Eddie. This is Nicole. You're watching a brand new episode of the Puzzle Podcast right here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hi.
Very glad to see everyone on tonight. Hey, Monica. We moved our time with you in mind, given that you and several others were asking about moving to 9 o'clock because there's another podcast that a puzzler does at 8, and so we thought that we would, follow the request of our viewers, and here we are. So happy to see y'all, Puckin' Fuzzles. Good to see you, brother, as well. That's the name. You got a bad name, man. Bad behind name. I love it. Emery91, good to see you as well. We got a jam-packed show for you. First of all, we are presented by Quality Content, the maker of this rainbow gradient puzzle right here, and so. They also created the circle sensation right there. We're also sponsored by Puzzledly, 4 Points, Wander Puzzle Co., and the Very Good Puzzle Company. And so we're grateful for their sponsorship. They have allowed us to be able to make this show happen and to be able to do more things with the show and future things that we have down the pipeline. So we're happy to be here tonight. We got a jam-packed show for you on tonight. We're going to be talking about the Peloton treadmill, Tread Plus, that is under fire for having caused some serious injuries and even death to some children. We're also going to be talking about how this one writer said that, by sleeping in separate bedrooms with her husband, it's actually made for a better relationship between the two of them. And so, again, we got a jam-packed show for y'all and hope that you enjoy what we got to say on tonight. All right, you got the floor.
The first story. Peloton fights federal safety recall after its treadmills left one child dead, others injured. 1 month after revealing that one child died and others were injured in accidents on Peloton treadmills, the at-home exercise company is fighting a federal safety agency request that the company recall the products and has delayed the agency's investigation into potential safety problems, according to the officials familiar with the incident. I feel like that's all I need to read. The rest of it just goes into, the contacting family and the amount of money that it's taking. The two sides also are clashing over whether Peloton's treadmills need to be taken off the market. And I really like to know what other people's thoughts about this is if you've read the story. The company and regulators had been negotiating over the wording and timing of an agency warning to alert consumers to potential dangers posted by the company's Peloton tread. I thought they already did that. A new safety warning from
when this story was written,
the CPSC was posted early Saturday. It said the agency found that the public health and safety requires this notice to warn the public quickly of the hazard and advise consumers to stop using the treadmills. An official familiar with the CPSC's concerns said the agency was alarmed by reports of victims being pulled under the machines, and suffering injuries that included, broken bones and head trauma. I'm not good with broken bones. This doesn't happen with other treadmills, said the official. It is a different hazard pattern that is typically seen. That's just weird to me, and I can understand. Okay, stop, Nikki. Peloton is still seeking
editorialize already
to jointly work with CPSC to urge its consumers to follow all warnings and safety instructions. Okay, there it is. They do have their warnings and safety instructions. The company also said it did not give the agency personal information about the deceased child because the company respects its consumers' privacy and the child's family. Let's see. The first problem with Peloton treadmills came from a March 18th letter posted on the company's website from CEO and co-founder John Foley. In the letter, Foley said he had recently learned about a child's death and a small handful of incidents where other children were hurt by the company's treadmill. The letter asked consumers to always keep children and pets away from the Peloton. That's basically it. It's kind of just saying the same thing over and over again. And then it has a video. And this is the last thing. Most of Peloton's accidents involved young children getting pulled under the heavy treadmills, including a case where a child suffered multiple broken bones, an official said. All right. He's traumatized.
So if y'all ain't seen my dumb tail went and watched the video 10 minutes before the show started. And so my brain kind of hurt.
Yep.
And my heart kind of hurt because I seen the video way too soon and wasn't able to process what I saw.
Too late.
It's way too late. And wasn't able to process what I've seen. But nevertheless, I think for me, the hardest part for me to wrap my head around is the fact that this treadmill is still on the market. I'm sure that they have their regulations and they have their their warning sign that says don't keep this around children. But you got to realize who your target audience is. I know you're not just targeting single people to use your treadmills. You're targeting married couples. You're targeting families. You're targeting single or married people, family people with pets. And as a result of that, you have to, in the design of your treadmill, keep in mind who has the potential to end up walking up on this thing. I remember growing up, my mom had a treadmill. And me and my brother and my sister, we would use those things. We would use that thing. We pretend to be on spaceships, and we play around with it all the time. Thankfully, it wasn't an automatically moving one, and so we didn't have to worry about that.
What kind of?
So the way that this machine worked, it's one of those automatically moving ones. And so, you set it to move at a certain speed, and so you're not pushing the treadmill. The treadmill.
That's just like.
No. So when I grew up, I had the one. My mom had the one where you had to push it.
The one my mom gave us.
Yes, you're. It's not. You don't turn it on. You're making it move. Mm-hmm. And so there wasn't really as much of a danger per se with the one that we had compared to this one. With this particular machine, it moves on its own. And so there's no way for you to stop it except for you to hit a stop button. And I don't know where on the machine it is for a kid to be able to push it. Which leads me to question, how does it even turn on in the first place? Let alone for you not to be able to stop it. And so it's like in your design, there's a significant flaw somewhere to where someone who is not trying to operate it the way it's intended to be operated on, is still turning on its own. And so if a kid gets on it, 4 or 5 years old, can't reach the buttons.
She could reach it.
Okay, cool. So then you need to have some type of system in place to where, unless you got a code or unless you know some type of special sequence or fingerprint or something, that thing can't move. Because if a child is able to turn that thing on, when they hit that panic mode, they're not gonna know how to turn it off. The only thing they're gonna be thinking of is "Mommy, help me." And like I said, some of the video that we saw, that thing was tragic. That kid almost died. Yeah, I don't see how that kid walked away.
That kid neck went broke.
Well, I don't know. That kid, the one that we saw, there's no way that kid should have lived through that. That's by the grace of God. And so go ahead, man.
All right, so I disagree just a little bit. Because all I really know are the machines that, run on their own. When my mom had the one that she had, I was like, where did this come from? And to me, that one's almost just as dangerous, because while you're running on it, it's hard to stop. At least with the other machines, you can hit a stop button and it helps you stop. With those machines, it's hard to stop because like the momentum is just won't stop. And so it's hard for you to stop. That's why I don't like those. But okay, so I see the difference between the machines. The difference between that machine and other machines is the fact that other machines, their what is it called? The belt, it goes up under something, and there's like a bar there. So as it goes under, it can't bring anything with it. Because there's a bar there.
But at the end.
Yeah.
This
but
one
with
instead,
that machine, it's
a belt.
It's
just
belt.
the belt.
And there's nothing there at the end.
See,
to stop
design
it.
again. That's a design flaw. Good.
But then I also say, where are the parents, man? Look, if you know that there are certain things that you get in your household that are not kid friendly, why have them where your kid can easily access them? Because at first, the video first started off with the sister or another little girl, whoever was on the machine, and the boy was playing behind her. And this was also a very young child. And so the little girl was on the machine and the boy got, hurt. So where are the parents during this time when your kids are off in the house doing whatever? Because a lot of times you're not going to put a little thing in the socket so they can't stick anything in there. So what are you gonna get mad at the people who make electrical outlets again?
Wow.
So
yes,
and it's almost the same thing, and I hate to bring this back up, it's almost the same thing with those little round batteries again. You know? So what are the parents doing while their children are running around the house? And I know this, it's their house, too. But you have certain things in your house that you don't want to hurt your kids. So why have them so easily accessible? And I get why people are mad. Foot, your child died because of it. But on their end too, they put the warnings out there, and they put no child should be on this younger than 16, especially without an adult present. It's in there.
Yeah.
So when it's at your house, what are they supposed to do? They don't know what's going on at your house. They don't know how many kids you got at your house. They don't know what you're doing in your house, how how much you are watching your kids while they're doing what they're doing. And I know some people may say, my kid's running around the house while I'm doing this, and I wouldn't expect whatever. But kids can find things to do, boo. Sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, like even if a spider, gets in the house and bites the child, or even a snake, Foot. Remember when I was younger, we found a snake in our house. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know that was so random.
But go on. I'm here now.
My point is, kids can go around the house and things can happen. That's why it's important to keep an eye, keep an ear out to listen to what's going on. I am pretty darn sure that boy was screaming at the top of his goddamn lungs, because I seen it in his face, even while his head was pinned to the belt. And y'all, that video me and Eddie just said, that video was like a for color girls, one and done. I need to see it one time and that's it. I don't want to see it no more. We was just having a debate about, him, was he trying to reach for the ball and then got sucked back in? I was like, no, I think he was hands on the ball and the thing was still going to suck. I ain't finna watch it again to find out. But the thing with it was still going while he was trying to escape. And the fact that it sucked the ball in as well, and then him too, how in the world did he escape that? And where was the darn parent during all of this time, you guys? That's what is getting me also. Because that was a long period of time in my eyes. That was a long period of time, for a child to be screaming. And I'm pretty sure the little girl didn't just leave him hanging because she seen what happened. As soon as she seen that, her butt jumped down. But maybe she couldn't talk really well. Mama, blah, blah. So, I don't know. But even then, look at your child. What is your child saying? Help me. I can't say it. But I'm just saying, like, I get why, you know, people will be upset, you know, and I get why it's just that machine, because that machine does not have I don't even know if I want to call it a protective bar or whatever, but, you know, I've seen the difference in how it's made. Like, it just goes under, and so if there is anything high enough, it's going to push it out. I'm done.
So the only thing that I really have to add to that is just kind of to counter what you just said about counter what because this is why I let you go first sometimes, because I know on stuff like this you want to go off.
I don't want to go off.
You just did, man. You just went off, but it's okay.
I just feel like it's both.
That's not the point. That's not the point. I'm talking about just you going off. Okay, it ain't about what you want to say. It's about the fact that you gotta say it, and you say it all. You make me almost lose my point. The counter I'm making is that, regardless of whether there's parental guidance or not parental guidance at the time, it's like you said, we as parents can't catch everything. You know, no matter how many safeguards we put in place, kids are going to find a way to just be kids. Exactly. You know, they are they are who they are. They're going to be, and it's not even about it being sneaky. Sometimes we're just not going to have our eyes on them. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, for me, I lean on the side of the design of the machine itself. Like, it's just like you said, I didn't even think about the whole back of the belt thing. Like, that's genius right there. Like, that, I think, could have solved a whole lot of problems if they just make it to where the belt goes behind something so that a kid don't get trapped up under that.
It'll be like one of them videos we see where people just slide
off. Yeah, I'd rather them slide off, you know, and maybe bump their head than to get trapped up under the darn thing. So again, that's where it is for me. I feel like they didn't they didn't care to take enough time to think about the design of the machine, in light of the fact that for a lot of us as parents, like we can't keep our eyes on our kids 24 hours a day, and as a result, sometimes our kids gonna go off and get on the machines. They're gonna go to the pool. They're gonna go and sit on the tractor that they're not supposed to touch. They're gonna jump in a car, and you know, heaven forbid, they lock themselves in a car. Like, you know, kids are gonna be kids. They're gonna be curious. They're gonna do what they do, and so I think that it would behoove Peloton to just think about a better design of their machine to where they can minimize the likelihood of someone getting trapped, and not just leave it up to a warning sign. Because again, you got single parents, you got stay-at-home moms, you got busy moms, busy dads who use these machines, and they're not watching their kids 24/7. And like I said, for me growing up as a kid, I would get on the treadmill, and it was just like you said, I'd be running on the thing, and then I forget momentum, and then I'd be flying, you know. And so I'm with you. It's like whether it's manual or automatic, like, you got to think about the fact that you're not going to be able to, every kid is not going to be not touching the machine. Not every pet's going to not touch the machine, and you're not going to be able to build enough safeguards to keep kids away from the machines. Eventually, they're going to get on it. No matter how many times, you know, parents say don't touch, don't dig, whatever, they're going to find a way at some point. And so just be mindful of the just in cases and do everything you can to safeguard the machine as best as you can. Again, you're not going to prevent it all, but you can at least attempt to try to put something in your design to where, you know, you minimize the likelihood of something like that happening, especially after you've had death and injuries take place.
But I would think, like, if you see all this and you see all this happening, and again, I'm not trying to put blame on anybody, because I feel like it's both sides. Like, as a parent, if you see all this, one, I'm not finna buy it.
Don't bother me.
And two, if I already got it, I'm gonna keep the mess unplugged. First of all, you know, if I see this,
both ends, yeah,
like, or keep the door shut. I don't know. I don't know. Just something.
Do something.
Because it's like, when are we as people gonna stop always blaming other people, not even just that, but blaming other people or other things for what's going on in our house.
Yeah.
You know? Because like I said, they're not in your house. They don't know how many kids you got. They're just trying to make their money.
Yeah.
And, they're not thinking about our family. We have to be the ones to think about that and think about, what we're doing and what we're getting and how it's going to affect everybody.
I can't argue with that logic at all. It's like you said, it's a both and.
Yeah,
it really is. Like I say, I lean more on the side of the design, but I can't argue with your with what you're saying.
I agree with the design too. Yeah. It would be smart to put another safety. I don't know if there's any kind of safety.
Just outside of that one thing you said, I don't know if it's just because if the machine is an automatically moving machine, kids shouldn't be able to turn that on.
Why not?
Because if it's for 16 and up, no child should be able to turn that thing on unless they have some type of access to it. If this thing is an automatically moving machine.
But with the machines that I've been on, it's easy to turn on. Well, when they say 16 and up, they're saying that because of the danger.
Right, and I get that.
But you can easily turn that thing on, like the ones.
And so make it harder. Is what I'm saying. Make it harder for that machine to say, okay, we're going to start with a 6 mile an hour walk. Like, make it more difficult. Don't make it where if you just touch a button, it automatically moves, or if you touch 2 or 3 buttons, no. Make that thing secure to where it's either your fingerprint or a code or something so that it doesn't move.
Well, if they're going to do that, then people better be ready to spend more money on it. Because that takes more.
If you're trying to buy Peloton machines that cost $5,000 anyway, what do you expect?
It's going to be 6.
Right.
Because it takes more.
That's what's up.
I don't think the company would expect. I would think that the company would think that people would follow directions. You learn that in school and listen.
Killing does Twitch. We good?
And listen to what they say. Doing? But some people just don't care and they're like, okay, it's on here, whatever. All right.
Yeah. You got any questions or comments, fill out the comment box below. We'll try to get to them as best as we can. You're watching the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie Nicole, presented by Quality Content. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. And you can also find us anytime on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts to listen to any and all of our past podcasts and this one that'll be uploaded over the weekend. All right, our second story is coming out of I don't know what city it's coming out of. But it is coming from CNN. Surprise conception, woman conceives second child while carrying the first. At first, baby Noah was all alone, growing beatifically in his mother's womb. Noah's first close-ups taken by ultrasound at 7 and 10 weeks into pregnancy showed 39-year-old mom Rebecca Roberts and 43-year-old dad Rice Weaver, I guess, the baby they had tried for more than a year to conceive. Then at 3 months into the pregnancy, Noah suddenly had company. An ultrasound taken at week 12 showed that Noah had an unexpected little sister, fraternal twin Rosalie. Quote, I got pregnant while I was already pregnant, which was absolutely crazy because that's not supposed to happen. Called a superfetation, getting pregnant while already carrying a baby is so rare that one 2008 study found fewer than 10 recorded cases in the world. Doctors told the couple the babies were actually conceived about 3 weeks apart. They realized that the baby was growing at a consistent rate of 3 weeks behind the first one, and it was then that they said to me they think this is a superfetation pregnancy. Quote, I couldn't believe it had happened to me, but it did. It's lovely. It's like winning the lottery. Dad felt the same. I was elated to be having one child, but even more so for twins. The job is done in one go. And then Rebecca did some research, and we realized how unique and lucky we are. I'm trying to see, is there anything else?
How big?
At first, Rebecca and Rice fretted over baby Rosalie's development in the womb, worried that being so far behind her big brother may affect her health at birth. It could go either way because the baby's so much smaller. Born by cesarean in September 2020, both babies did have to spend time in separate neonatal intensive care units. Rosalie, who was born at a tiny 2 pounds 7 ounces, was sent to a specialty NICU about 15 minutes away from the NICU that carried Noah, who was born at 4 pounds 10 ounces. A quote: "She was a tiny, tiny little baby just fitting in our hands, and even though he was tiny, you could see that he was a much bigger baby. It was very hard. I had a major operation. Then our babies were in 2 separate hospitals, so it was really hard work having to travel between the 2 of them. Noah was able to come home in 3 weeks, but little Rosalie remained in intensive care for 95 days, coming home just before Christmas. Today, at close to 7 months, Noah is still ahead of Rosalie, but Rice said, quote, "She is a little trooper. She's got her own little personality, but I have no real worries at all."
I still don't see how that's possible. I don't get it. I feel like they just missed her and she was just small anyway and she was a little pea while he was a softball. I don't know. And I've never heard of that either. Thank you. I've heard it before, but
go ahead.
It was too different.
Oh, wait, ma'am. Wait, ma'am.
Jesus is right. I don't understand that. I almost feel like they just missed her because she was that much smaller than him anyway. And he just hovered over her. Maybe that was the protective part of it. I don't know. But I mean, all in all, I think it's a blessing. One, you know, that were they born early? It didn't say when they were born.
They were both born early.
I wonder how early. It didn't say how early they were born, but they were so small, and I'm just grateful that
Kelly said that was absorbing, but I understand nothing from that story.
I know. I don't get it. Like, I want to talk to a doctor. How is that possible?
Oh my gosh.
Everything's supposed to be shut down. Like, how is that supposed to be? Unless, you know, the trooper just got in there and just took a while to get where it needed to get to or something. But even then.
Okay, so I saw something on Facebook the other day. No, refuse. Listen. Go Google this. I saw something on apple size, baby. Okay, stop making me laugh, y'all. Stop it. Let me do this. I saw something on Facebook the other day about how there are some women who are born with 2 uteruses. Okay, it's the most randomest thing I have ever seen in my life. Okay, but they are born with 2 uteruses. Basically, it's like you have instead of it being 1 uterus. I'm bad. I'm making shapes. It's like 2 uteruses, like this. And so
like what?
It's 2 uteruses instead of being 1.
Wait, like what?
It's 2. It's 2.
They can't see it. It's like what?
It's like 2. It's not 1. It's 2. Don't judge me.
Whatever.
Stop. Okay. Let me tell the story. Quit. And so what had happened was, what happens is, I'm gonna get through this.
Jesus.
So the baby is fertilized on one side.
It goes the one canal.
Right. And so while you're pregnant, y'all still doing the do.
And he goes to the
other canal.
And they both meet in the middle.
No, they don't meet in no middle. They sitting in their own.
How do they get into there?
They're sitting on their own sides of the uteruses until they start whatever merging. I didn't read the whole thing. All I'm saying is it is possible for this to happen. It is one of the rarest things on earth to happen, but it goes to show how hey, sometimes we still be doing stuff, and it is quite possible. It is quite possible that in the midst of having sex, you might get pregnant again if your body decides I still got enough fertilization in here to do some stuff. Something I think in the write-up it says something about basically yes, it's like an additional vagina, and so it's like thank you, you said it. Boom. And so what? So again, it's like the write-up says something about like there might be another egg that drops while you're like in the first, couple of months of pregnancy, as your body is trying to shut things down. It may not shut things down as fast as others may get shut down. I don't know. But again, because the other egg dropped while in the course of having sex, the egg got fertilized and found a place to attach, even though there ain't supposed to be no place to attach. And so again, it's a miracle. Praise Jesus. We got 2 babies for the price of 1. And now, like he said, 1 done. He ain't got to worry about doing it no more. For the sake of getting children. They can shut it down if they want to.
Boy and a girl.
That's got to be some scary stuff, though.
That's got to be some scary stuff. Because my thing is, so what if, you all sick and stuff, and you don't want to do nothing anyway in that first trimester? So you mean to tell me your other uterus is available for something to come through? So if you get pregnant if you get pregnant at the 5-month mark, hold up.
Wait a minute.
They gonna be 5 months apart.
Yeah,
how you gonna do that?
I guess you gonna have the first one and hope that the second one's sitting in there. Listen, when I first read the story, I thought they were gonna say they had the first one and left the second one in there. That's what I thought. Boom, exactly. Hey, I guess so.
No.
So look.
Well, I thank God for 1 uterus. I'll be darned.
I don't. Thank God.
Thank God.
Yep. Like y'all already have, y'all got my respect just for being able to have kids as it is. I mean, y'all are the strongest people on the face of the earth to me, because I couldn't have no child.
Y'all keep having kids.
Have no kids.
Y'all are awesome.
I couldn't do it. Y'all are rock stars to me. Women are rock stars. I can't.
Keep having the kids. That's what
y'all do. What y'all do, whether you have 1 at a time or whether you do 3 at once,
4,
or whether you do 1 and then make another one while the other one in there. Whatever you do, you got occupied and vacancies all up in the uterus. I'm a hood.
I wonder. So now I just wonder, did she know about her 2 uteruses?
Probably not.
Uteri. How you say it? How you say it? Uteruses
or uteri?
Or uteri.
Okay, so let's have a whole conversation about that, shall we? If you have any questions or comments, fill out that comment box below. We'll get to them as best we can. Y'all gotta stop making us laugh though, because we gotta get through this show. I love it.
I need to get to the eye check. That's after this one, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, do you want to do the eye check now?
Nope. Let's do this one, because you want to try this one and see if it works.
Heck to the no. So the next story. Before we do that though, No, hold up. Before we do that though, I want to bring up our sponsor. Obviously we're presented by Quality Content. Thank them so much for their sponsorship. But we're also sponsored by Puzzledly. Puzzledly, who is right now doing a buy 2 get 1 free. And so if you go to their website, get 3 puzzles, you will automatically be discounted for the 3rd puzzle. So you want to visit them. If you haven't played with any of their puzzles yet, put any of them together, you're in for a treat. Their puzzles are very well. The one I have that I'm showing is Snow Darn Cold. I have another one, but Puzzledly discontinued that puzzle because of the name, and so I don't want to put it up here because of the name. It's called Vibes. If you go on their website, it's called Vibes. But I have what it used to be, but I'm not gonna say that because I'm not gonna say what it was because they changed it for that very reason. As a matter of fact, that puzzle is on sale for very, very cheap. As they're trying to discontinue it altogether. And so again, if you go to their website, buy 2 get 1 free. And again, you don't have to put a promo code in. You just get your 3. They'll discount the third puzzle. And you'll have a whole lot of fun. Trust me, guaranteed from me. I've enjoyed their puzzles so far and can't wait to get my own, get some more of them later in the future. All right, our third story is coming from NBC. COVID quarantine confirmed that sleeping in separate beds is the best thing for my marriage. I don't remember the first night my husband and I realized that sleeping in the same bed together wasn't all that great, but I'm going to ballpark it in 2004, 3 years before we were married.
Okay. I want you to go first. When we first met in 2002, he lived about 7 miles away from me. Spending the night at his apartment on the weekends was easier. That's what I was just looking at. But then he moved into an apartment upstairs from mine. One night after dinner, I didn't see it, a movie and our together time, I must have said, so maybe I'll just go back downstairs. And he must have said, that sounds good. What the heck? There was no less sex, just better sleeping. And that's the way it's been ever since. In 14 years of marriage, we've probably only slept in the same bed a few dozen times, usually because of hotel stays on vacation house rentals. If there's any rub in our current sex life, it's preteens who stay up too late, not our separate bedrooms. In fact, I don't know how I would have made it through this past year of pandemic togetherness in our Time Cape Cod style house if each night I couldn't shut the door to my bedroom and be alone. God dang. I'm grateful for the health and safety of my family and that we had each other. But those 120 square feet I could call my own became essential to weathering the storm. My husband and I sleep apart now for the same reasons we always have, because we have different bedtime habits and sleep quirks. I read every night before bed. He watches television. He snores and often has sneezing fits in the middle of the night. I have a tendency to jump in my sleep. He likes a warmer room. I like a colder one, especially now that I'm dealing with hot flashes from early menopause. Alright, then, boop. Mostly, we just like our space and the feel of stretching out, unencumbered, for 7 to 8 hours. And I realized during this past year of forced togetherness how the choice we made for nighttime solitude has been a mutual gift. I didn't start out this way. When I had my first serious boyfriend in graduate school, I was a late bloomer. Yep.
Labia.
Spending the night together was a barometer of devotion. Not staying over meant something wasn't quite right. I was less likely to think that by that time I met my husband. But even if I knew that sleeping in separate beds didn't mean we lacked intimacy, I still thought we must be missing out. Especially when I would watch romantic movies featuring couples having cozy pillow talk or waking up lovingly around each other. The idea of a woman snuggling up to her significant other and then drifting off into a blissful sleep lived large in my imagination. Alright. That's good. Oh wait, married couples sleeping apart has lately been called a sleep divorce. The incipient discussion and reporting about the topic is a good thing, but the term stinks. It's a, what's that? It's what? Inherently negative. There you go.
Misnomer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And reinforces all the social pressure against taking a step that can be both healthy for our relationship and a person's body.
Okay. All right. So, I don't prescribe to sleeping apart, but different stroke for different folk. So every relationship has their own thing that makes them work. For them, this is what works. And so although I don't necessarily prescribe to it myself, I can't fault them for doing what they feel like they need to do in order to have a successful marriage and to be happy and satisfied with themselves. Like she said in her write-up, they don't have less sex. They don't, have less time together. They just have their moment apart. And their moment apart happens to be around bedtime, which would suggest, especially during the time of COVID, that they spend every other waking hour around and with each other all the time, and that there was no space for them to have me time outside of bedtime. And so My only question to her would be, well, do y'all do anything else apart aside from laying in the bed in separate bedrooms? Because if this is the only time that you have your me time, I would be concerned. You know, you don't have any other time to be by yourself. You don't have any other time to be.
Right.
See, you gotta let me finish. Stop. Let me finish. Let me finish, man. Because again, like if this is the only time that you have to be by yourself, then I kind of feel bad for you, because it suggests that that you do nothing else outside of your spouse or your family, to where this is the only time that you have yourself. Now, mind you, talking pandemic wise, I get it, because everybody was in the house, and so it was like we talked about with last year, and us trying to figure out how to be together, do our own thing at the same time, and the delicate balance we had to play, and with you not being able to work, how that when it's had it played on you. So I get it.
Okay.
Right. Right, exactly. No. Every parent I've talked to has pretty much said the same thing, especially those who are homeschooling right now. Like, that is bad. And so again, it's not to say that we don't love our kids, but we love our time by ourselves too. And so to that end, it's like, I would wonder if there's ever a time in their lives outside of work that they have, time to themselves where they feel like they can be themselves. And if not, that's something I'd just be concerned about. But again, when it comes to this whole, sleeping in separate beds, do what you do. Like, hey, you do what you do. What's up? Over here saying when you horny, you can't get anything with this one.
So I'm curious about that too. What if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just like, I'm just feeling a certain type of way?
Hey,
we're gonna knock on the door.
Hey.
Do you lock it?
Hey.
And I mean, you said that.
Take my money.
Hey.
Sorry. In my car.
So.
One hitter.
And you said that he has like different things that.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. Girl, please don't be late.
My thing is, he has all these things that's going on with him, like you said, shush it. What if something happens? While he's having these little fits that you say he has,
that's okay. That's sad. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah,
and so
I didn't think about that.
Wonder, about that too.
Yeah.
I mean, there are ways. If it's the sleep thing that's bothering you, like, and it's not just that y'all don't want to be cuddled to each other. There are ways to prevent that. I mean, get a sleep number foot, the kind that has the two sides. There are ways that can help with the snoring and the whatever that's going on. The warmers on the bed, you know what I'm saying? He likes it, hot? You like it cold?
Might not be able to afford it. Just spitballing. Go on.
That's true. But, I mean, if it mattered, I would think that would be a good investment. If it mattered to you, but apparently it doesn't matter to them. And I almost feel like it's not a turn off, but I'm gonna say a turn off for her, because of the fact that when she was dating at a younger age, all that stuff was put in her head that not sleeping with your significant other, it means that something's wrong. I think that was put in her mind at an early age, and because of that, she sees that it's not true now, and she just wants to do it this way because that to her is a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that. And again, the only reason why I don't see anything you finna hate me. I don't see nothing wrong. Okay, I'm done. The reason why. See, you understand what I'm talking about. Hey, I just want a kiss. Can I get a kiss? Good. I got all these songs. I'm sorry. Instagram gonna kill me.
Wait, put that finger up. Wait a minute.
her, if this is something they've done since 2004, this is them. Like, there's no changing them at this point. They are who they are. This is what they're going to do, and that's okay. That's fine. Again, my only concern is, like, are you doing this because you're still trying to prove a point, or are you doing this because this is what's best for your relationship? If it's best for your relationship, do what you do. Don't let anybody intimidate you or make you think any differently, because people gonna be people. They gonna think what they want to think, but you stay true to who you are. But again, if you're only doing it just like you said, to just try to prove some point, but boo, you ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. That's your relationship. You wanna sleep in the same bed as your man? Sleep in the same bed as your man. Y'all work it out. And that's what married couples do. We work it out. And if you don't, then y'all go to these separate bedrooms and everything gonna be alright. Just know that, hey.
And what's gonna happen when y'all have kids? Like, what do you do with that? Like, are you gonna have
I'm gonna do like Kaylin said. Give me some of that mouth.
One meter. Are you gonna have a monitor in each one of your rooms?
Oh my God!
So that you can hear the child and what's going on. Like, how are you gonna do that? Like, to me, I personally, I can sleep without someone in the bed, but I personally don't like to.
You won't have to worry about having babies 2 months apart.
I do not.
That's
but
crazy.
I personally don't like that. I don't, and it's so weird because, and I don't know why, because I get hot really easily. And I don't like the heat. I like it cold. I like it really cold.
Yes, you do.
Like,
you do.
Wear sweatpants to bed.
I do.
That's how cold I like it.
I do. It's okay. Hey, it's the sacrifice I'm willing to make to sleep next to my spouse. Because I like sleeping next to you. So that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make for that.
I mean, we got the air and the fan
and
on.
the fan on.
But I don't know.
We got the razzle dazzle. We like the extra. So nah, it ain't bothering me none. At the end of the day, like I say, different stroke for different folk. You do what you do. Make sure that you love, that you're with who you want to be with. You love who you love, and you do what you do. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it at all. Got any questions or comments? Fill out that comment box below, like y'all are doing so graciously right now. I love the responses we're getting from y'all. Thank y'all so much for bringing some laughter and levity even to us. We are presented by Quality Content. We're also sponsored by Puzzledly, 4 Points, the very good puzzle company, and Wander Puzzle Company. We love y'all, and we're gonna keep it moving with our 4th story of the night. What's going on, Quality? What's going on, Deslin? We love you. Glad to see you tonight. You want this one?
She's talking about this shirt?
It must be, because you... Oh, well, okay. You know what time it is. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that later on. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit.
Michigan woman glues her eye shut after mistaking nail glue for eye drops. I want to say that again for the people who didn't hear me. Michigan woman glues her eye shut after mistaking nail glue for eye drops.
Okay, preach it.
A woman nearly lost her vision after she mistook glue for her eye drops. Williams told WXYZ
Element of P.
I was thinking that she was still groggy after waking up in the middle of the night when she went to remove her contact lenses. She went into her purse to grab her eye drops, but instead she mistakenly grabbed her nail glue, which is about the same size and has a similar shape as the eye drops. And the picture shows, it clearly is about the same size. If you're feeling it right, then it feel a little different. Okay, stop talking. Unfortunately, Williams didn't realize the mistake until it was too late. Oh wait, don't go in. I tried to wipe it away and it sealed my eye shut. Her husband called 911 as she splashed water into her eye.
No, it's a different lady, Miss Monica.
Doctors say putting water in the eye was a smart move. Yeah. If you ever get anything in your eye, the immediate thing to do is flush your eye out with water. Just either hold your head back under a faucet, get a bottle of water, hold your eye open, just flood it with water. She was rushed to the look at that. She was rushed to the hospital where doctors were able to open her eye and remove her contact lens. They say the contact lens saved her vision. They kept saying you'll probably lose your lashes, which she did, because they had to pull on it and flip the top of her lid back. Williams said moving on, she will no longer keep both eye drops and nail glue in the purse again. Go ahead.
All right. So, at first, when I first saw this story pop up.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So when I first read this story, when I first saw the story, my immediate thought was the same one that Miss Monica had. Is this the same woman who messed with that darn Gorilla Glue? Because if it was,
can I tell you guys something really quick? Side note, the Gorilla Glue. So I did find out that men have a product called Gorilla Glue.
No.
Yes. I found out, I'll try to find it, have a product called Gorilla Glue, and it makes the hair curly, and it looks almost like
no, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
So it was the boyfriend.
Maybe.
It was the boyfriend.
I'm gonna do some more research.
So we got it. So you got to this then solidifies your theory. Because your theory was that it was a man that went to go get this Gorilla Glue for this girl, gave it to her, and she took it because she probably knew about the men's products too.
I'm gonna do some more research on it, but I just found that out today. So
okay,
look it
cool.
up.
All right. So you have basically just already proved my point without proving it, like because at first I thought, okay, are we about to have another conversation? Like, is this really happening right now? We're going to revisit this whole thing over again. But when I saw the bottles, I could understand how she could mistake the two, because the nail glue is not talking. Because when I heard nail glue, me being a dude, I automatically thought hardware. I didn't know what it was.
Really?
I didn't know what nail glue was.
What?
I thought we were talking about nails to a wall. No, I know now, but I didn't know because they said this happened to another person. So I'm like, y'all outside, you're outside, so what, y'all were sawing something together and you
didn't know what happened to the other person?
Yeah. I got it now. So if y'all don't know what nail glue is, let me educate you, because I got some education today. It's for your fingernails.
People get their nails did.
Right, they get acrylic nails, and so they take the glue, like it's almost like what's it called, super glue, and they have a brush, and you take that brush in this case it's drops. I'm just saying, for me to understand it, it's like that. It's kind of like that. And so I pictured it in my mind being the brush, but they also have the drops, which is what this is.
Yeah.
And so when she opened her purse, she just felt for a bottle. Mm-hmm. She didn't look at the bottle, groggy as she was, and opened it, and before she realized, she had already put a drop in her eye. And again, I just can't, for the life of me, understand, So I understand why you would have both bottles in your purse. So I'm not even faulting her on that. I guess for me, it's just like I guess for me, I would want, if I know I'm finna put something in my eyeballs and I know that I got two of the same thing, I would want to check over again, because that's scary to me. I'm sorry, like you.
Even in the hot water.
Girl, go ahead, man.
Even in the hot water.
Go ahead.
Okay, so. First of all, I am very glad, I'm very happy that she was able to
save her eyes.
Vision.
That way we can pick on her though.
If you look at the picture, I do believe that the contact lens saved her vision, because it looks as though it looks as though the drop was on the contact and probably none got in her eye. She probably pulled it out just in time for it to just get on the contact. So that is very, very scary. Okay.
Go ahead.
How many incidents have to happen before people read what they're doing? How many incidents, boo? Dude, nail glue has a certain smell, baby. baby.
Okay.
It has a smell that smells like, I don't even know. I just know the smell because I used to get my nails did. And so, like, it has a certain smell. I don't know. Why wouldn't you smell that? And it's a strong smell in my opinion. And so, like, my thing is, when are you going to start reading what you're doing? Like, if you, I mean, I get you that. And when you're sleepy, that's even more reason to read. Because you don't know what you got.
Exactly.
Just like the incident with the one who put
the Gorilla Glue in.
The
other one who put the same nail glue in her eye. Yeah.
You know, her friend gave her the glue thinking it was eye drops. When are you going? Boo, can I have some eye drops for my eye? They feel like really dry right now.
Yeah, sure. Here you go. Whatever this is.
Read it. And
Please.
then put it in. Like,
please.
How it's not that hard. We just try to skip a step every time.
Skip a step.
To try to do stuff, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know.
I'm with you. 100%. Like, at this point,
I guess
like,
she's gonna start reading now.
Of course she is.
No, she's just not gonna keep it in her purse. No, keep it in your purse.
Keep it in purse.
Just
read it. Read it. You need to be awake and aware enough of what you're putting in. Just like the doctor said at the end of the statement.
Smell it.
Lick it, whatever you need to do.
Don't lick it. Then your mouth gonna be
I'm just saying, whatever you need to do in order to make sure that. Well, that's good. Good. Well, that she get from you. But at the end of the day, apparently it's for a good reason, though. Because apparently, if you don't, you're gonna end up doing something dumb to yourself. Smell your drinks, for crying out loud. Just make sure that it's what it is.
Is this milk still good?
Right.
Does it smell right?
Right. Smell it. Do the smell test. That's what we're advocating for today. Do the smell test, because apparently we don't know. Right. Come on. Right. Exactly. Like, come on now. Like, do what you got to do to make sure that you are putting in your system, putting on your body, putting in your hair,
on your body,
whatever. Make sure that it is what it's supposed to be, because if it's not, you're gonna destroy yourself, man. I go back to Gorilla Glue girl. Mind you, I firmly now believe that it was her boyfriend. But please, I'm really convinced it was the boyfriend now. But again, like, if you're not looking at the product that you're about to do something to yourself with, don't just trust that it is what it is. Make sure it is what it is. I've actually heard of some instances where you had people that were doing things to products in the stores, for crying out loud, you know, and they're getting more sophisticated with, you know, making sure that it's still shut and the tamper proof and all that. Yeah. Like, that's why they have those plastic things on stuff. I know it sucks. But that's why they're there, so that you can make sure that you're not picking up something right and do what you got to do right. I remember, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, where they had the dumb people that were TikToking the supermarket challenge, where they would go in the store and they would lick ice cream and then put the cap back on.
Then somebody get charged.
They get charged and arrested for that. Yeah, like, you don't make sure your stuff is what it's supposed to be, and you read your label before you use it. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to be going to hospital over no dumb stuff. This was dumb. I know she was tired. I know she was groggy. And like I said, you know, it's same shape, same, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to know what you're putting on yourself. What you're putting in yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to do something dumb. Right. You go get something to eat. Yeah. Like, I'm hungry too. I got some cookies. I'm going to go eat in a little bit. Like, so just be careful. Just be careful what you're putting in your system. Be careful what you put in your body. You know. Yeah, right. Just read the labels, man. Read the labels. You got any questions or comments, fill out the comment box below. You are watching the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie and Nicole right here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Presented by Quality Content. Our last story of the night is coming out of New Hampshire. A New Hampshire teen saves a West Virginia boy via TikTok. New Hampshire teen has been credited with saving a boy more than 800 miles away thanks to TikTok. Caden Connor, I'm probably just butchered that whole name, 13, was watching a TikTok live stream of Trent Jarrett, 12, riding a four-wheeler in West Virginia when something went awry. Quote, all of a sudden his phone goes kind of blank and you can see a little bit of light and you can just hear him yelling for help, Caden said. Caden said he could hear Trent yelling numbers. Quote, I was yelling out my grandparents' house phone number, Trent said, adding that it was the only number he could remember. Caden made a virtual call for help, and Trent's parents managed to find him and lift the ATV off him. After being trapped for about 20 minutes, he sustained minor cuts and bruises. Quote, he did what he was supposed to do and got the right people, and it worked out. It was an Easter miracle, Caden's stepfather, Gilmanton Police Chief Matt Currier, said of him. Caden had followed Trent because of the boys' shared interests, including hunting and fishing. The two met via Zoom on Monday, and Trent said he'd like to thank Caden for everything he did. Go ahead.
True crime. I don't. Really?
Oh my gosh. See?
Wow.
That's sad.
That's crazy.
Go ahead.
I would like to say that this week it's all about the kids, because just like that, that's awesome to like see something wrong and then do something about it.
Yes.
And he was, and it doesn't say, wait. Okay, he was 13 years old, you guys.
13.
And to me, that's a hero. Like you did the right thing. And then the other story that I had found was with the boy who he had seen a van driving down the road. He was walking home and the car was on fire, and he seen kids in the back seat, and so he just started chasing after the car.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where this was though. I feel like Detroit, Maryland, something like that. So he just started chasing after the car, and finally the car stopped, and he got the mom out. She was fine, and then he pulled out the 3 kids that were in the back, all less than like 8, I believe. Even one was in a car seat. And he even expressed how he was afraid, because he was afraid that the car was going to blow up any minute. And I wish I had it pulled up, but you could see the vehicle, and the vehicle was just totally black. You know, it was done. It caught on, it was on fire. And so for kids to be brave and do what
is necessary
to help someone's life. I mean, not saying that they're not thinking about their own, but they're putting others before them. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to be just an adult to do the right thing or to help someone out. Children can do the right thing and help someone out and be the difference. It's not just adults who have to be that. So, like, I'm very grateful for these two, and they're both boys, for these 2 boys to be brave enough to do what they did to save someone's life.
It's like we're always saying, man, if you can't see the good, be the good. And these kids, they just did what was right. I mean, you could try. You could try. But again, like, if you can't see the good, be the good. If you know that something needs to be done, you know, don't let things get in the way of you doing the right thing. These kids had nothing to gain, nothing to lose, or maybe more so to lose than they had to gain in the instance of the kid that was saving the family out of the car. But again, they just sprung to action. They did what was necessary. They did what was right. And again, there is so much good happening in the world. And Nicole and I debated all week long about talking about the stuff that's been happening throughout this week. Things been happening over the past couple of weeks. Things been happening over the past month. God dang. See, I can't with you right now. But again, like, there's so much stuff going on. Thank you for making us laugh, Killian. Like, you're killing it tonight. But there's so much going on in this world that, you know, Nicole and I debated all week long. Did we want to talk about it? Did we want to address it? And at the end, we decided not to, not because we don't think those things are important or that they don't matter, but again, because everybody else has talked about it. Everybody else has said something about it. And outside of just wanting to be better prepared to talk about it in general, we want to be able to highlight some of the, obviously the puzzling things, but more importantly, the good things that are happening. Because there's a lot of good happening in the world. There's a whole lot of good going on in the world.
Yeah.
As people and as media, we tend to focus on the negative because those are the outliers. Those are the problems. Those are the dramas that we're accustomed to seeing. So when things are going good, we don't talk about them like that. But we're grateful that there are good things happening. We do our best to seek them out as best we can and highlight them so that we can be reminded that there are good things happening. And if you can't see it, go be it. Because then, someone somewhere will see the good that you're doing and be reminded that even in the darkness of this world, there's still a lot of light left. And so we're grateful that we're able to highlight these two gentlemen who did an extraordinary thing just by picking up a phone, or heroically by pulling people out of cars. And we're just grateful that they stepped up, they did what they did, and now, they're able to live to tell about it. All right. Well, listen, we thank y'all so much for taking the time to spend with us. We hope that we were able to bring a little levity to your week. Y'all definitely made us laugh a whole lot this week. It looks like we found a kind of our home now on Fridays at 9 here on our various platforms. Killian, we thank you so much for stepping in and talking to us. We thank Puzzle Purpose, Monica Hilton. We thank you for talking to us.
I like that.
We thank y'all so much for taking the time to just spend a little bit with us. But that's going to do it for us tonight. We're thankful for Quality Content for being our sponsor. We're also thankful for Puzzledly. We're thankful for 4 Points. Thankful for Wonder Puzzle Company and the Very Good Puzzle Company. We thank y'all so much for your sponsorship. And we thank you guys for watching our show. We will be right here next week at 9 o'clock. To give y'all more of what's going on in the world. We already got our show almost lined up for next week because a lot of stuff happened this week that we can't get to. We ain't got enough time. And Nicole don't want us to do a 2-hour show. So anyway, love y'all. Y'all take it easy, and we will see y'all on the next episode of the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie and Nicole, presented by Quality Content. We'll see y'all next week.